If you've been with me on this channel for a while, then you know that I've conducted a series of interviews with sales pros. I've done these long form interviews to give you insights, ideas, and techniques from veteran professionals in the world of sales. Now, this clip is a selected question and answer from one of those past interviews. And it's a point that I want to highlight to help you to gain a new idea or new technique that you can apply to be more successful in sales. If you've watched the whole interview, this will reinforce a key point. If you haven't, then I hope it whets your appetite to go back to the list of videos on my channel and find the full interview and watch it. Enjoy this tip. There's a lot of discussion, Jason, around how many times you have to reach out to somebody in order to get a response. You know, that people aren't used to getting cold email and phone calls. And what I mean is they're used to it, but they're not used to responding to it, right? We've largely become immune to cold outreach. So what do you think is the right number of times before you give up? Because I think a lot of people aren't sure, when do I give up? I've been told that I should just keep going until someone tells me to stop. Or I've heard that it's 5 times or 7 times or 9 times. Like, what is your opinion on that?
Yeah. So I would preface this with the message is so much more important than the medium and the number of times that you reach out. So that message that I just shared, like you got to have that dialed in first. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how many times you reach out. Where I see people making a mistake is usually they don't reach out enough. So they'll do 3 or 4 times and then stop. So most of the data around this, and also bring in like customer experience. So like SalesLoft, Outreach, VanillaSoft, Ring DNA, all of the sales engagement tools that literally have millions of data points on what works and what doesn't, they all recommend something around the same thing. So you're sequencing, sort of the basics and the rules of sequencing, the fundamentals, if you will. So number of touches is between 12 and 14 typically, and that's spread out across 2 to 3 channels. So channels are email, phone, and social primarily, and then direct mail, and then in person, I guess you could say, as a channel. But you at least want to be doing 2 of those because your response rates will almost triple if you mix 2 channels together. And the thinking there is that you don't really know what this person's preferred method of communication is.
Right.
So when in doubt, always phone and email. So 12 to 14 touches between phone and email. So you kind of split those in half, basically. You could do 6 or 7 emails, 6 or 7 touches over the phone. And then you also want to, so typically what I recommend starting out with is doing that over the course of 3 weeks. So what that would look like is something like this. So on a Tuesday, I would do what's called a triple touch. So a triple touch is I'm going to call you, and if you don't pick up, Michael, I'm going to leave a voicemail, and that voicemail is going to say something along the lines of, "Hey, I'm about to send you an email," and the subject line is, "Hey, Michael, just left a voicemail. I included some things in there that I thought you'd find important, blah, 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 blah. Here it is." And then I send an email, and then I might send a LinkedIn connection request. So I'm doing 3 touches all at once. And the point of that is to like, kind of like, hey, like I'm here, I'm making some noise. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then the Thursday, you would do a phone call with no voicemail and then send a short follow up email. So that's 5 touches right there in 1 week. And you follow that same pattern week 2, week 3. Week 1, you focus on one core problem that you help with. So if I use my client as an example, they don't have 24/7 support coverage. That's the problem. So the second week's emails would focus on a different problem. Maybe they don't have like chat. Maybe they're missing an entire channel for their customer support. So I focus on chat. And then the other one might be slow response times. So if you take longer than X amount of hours to respond, they're likely going to go somewhere else. So those are the 3 challenges that I talk about spread out over those 3 weeks. And that's 15 touches in that example right there.